What's going on, YouTubers? What's going on, YouTube fanatics? I am driving right now, and I have a 30 minutos drive. I thought I would just check this out. Oh, there is SoCal, baby. It's just a whole different thing, you know? It's just so nice here. I don't know, man. Even in South Central, it's still nice, you know? I mean, damn. So do tell, pray tell, what's going on out there in your world. Let me just doop. Oh, I see. Oh. Sorry about that, partner. So what's going on? What is going on? Oh, what's going on? There's my friend Philly. What's going on, Philly Phil? What is going on? Cope Doggy Dog is in the hizzy. Cope Doggy Dog is in the hizzy. What is going on, Cope Doggy? How you doing, man? How's everybody today? I just thought I would just come on for a little bit. You know, what I showed you guys yesterday, you know, I had spent so many hours putting that together, like just to get it to where it would work, that today what I did is I spent the first 4 hours of my morning, and I just got it so that it would just be a complete solid package. And exporting is going to take 7 hours to export. It's like 5 hours long, and it's just the straight data. And then you guys can just read the straight data yourselves. I'm actually going to send it to a few people who want to watch it first to make sure that there's no doxing in there, anybody's like date of birth or address or anything like that. So if any of you guys want to watch the unlisted, I'll upload that today. And then if anybody wants to watch the unlisted video that I overturned Terry versus Ohio, you will see your name in there. Some of you guys will see your names inside that video. And so, you know, it's like, and then what's really cool, Gloria, what's going on, Gloria? How are you? Oh, that reminds me, someone reached out to me today, Gloria, to connect the two of you. And so I'm going to connect you to someone in the group. Gloria. So there's a surprise I have coming up that I haven't told anybody yet, and I've kept it to myself for a long time. I'm just keeping it right close to my vest right now until I'm ready to share with the world what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. But within the next couple days here, I have a big surprise for everybody. So everybody can get ready for that. Right around November 3rd, I have a big surprise for everybody. So how is everybody? What is going on? I got 8 hours of sleep last night. I feel absolutely amazing. V Boyer, Tuffy McTufferson is in the house. We got Philly is in the house. KT is in the house. Gloria, Les Paul. You know, I had a nice talk with the barber this morning. I'm driving back up from South Central now. Silent Auditor, what's up, my friend? How are you? What is going on, Justin? How are you? Breaking the Flaw. Hey, Breaking the Flaw, we got to talk on the phone, dude. Breaking the Flaw, I need to talk to you. I need to have a conversation with you. Need to talk to you. Breaking the Flaw, Breaking the Flaw, need to talk to you. OTVO, that's damn straight. Overturn Terry versus Ohio. Well, Breaking the Flaw, I can just say it out loud. You know, your affidavit in federal court will mean quite a bit. It's totally different. It's not just hearsay. They have to actually accept the evidence presented in federal court. You can't just say, oh, a human being with their testimony doesn't count like they did in state court. And I was going to go after that judge, but I just don't have enough energy and time. We did send in a letter of, reprimand, but, you know, the system protects itself pretty much. So it is what it is. But I've got to get a few errands done today, so I'll be driving a little bit. And plus, every time I have a chance to spend some time with good quality folks like you, I take the time to do it. Everybody hit the like button. Hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button, please. Hit the like button. Right now, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit it. Hit it. Gloria. Mikey, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you. Good to see you, Mikey. How are you? Thank you. I appreciate that. Just got my hair cut today. I had a talk this morning, barber talk this morning. I had a talk with because, you know, every time I get my hair cut in Los Angeles, you know, LA is the most segregated city in America. Blacks live south of the 10 and white people live north of the 10. That's now there's some blacks that live north of the 10 and some whites that live south of the 10, but the truth is that we are the most segregated city in America is Los Angeles. And so every time I get a fade haircut, I just drive straight down into South Central and find a barber. So when I first got to Los Angeles, my hairdresser was trans for my first 5 years I was in LA, because I was right in Hollywood. And so it just was, you know, that's just how it ended up. I went in to get a haircut and they give you the person that they give you. And that was in 2000, the year 2000. So, but yeah, that guy's story, Sam, you know, Sam did his Cash App was, I think it was the Barber 100 or Sam Barber 100. Did you guys hear his story? They pulled him over for just driving through America. And when they pulled him over, they just immediately went guns drawn and stuck him in the torture cuffs, you know. And, you know, Mikey, the reason we're divided is because of government, but it's because the Supreme Court specifically, because of the, you know, you have so many holdings, you know, that you could go back to that divided the races in America. You know, Corrigan versus Buckley, Barrera College versus Kentucky, 1906, 1908, Corrigan versus Buckley, 1927, you know, the Marijuana Tax Act, 1937. There's just going to be so many. 1911 Sullivan Act, that you have to get permission to get your gun from the president of the police bureau. That comes directly from racism. Terry versus Ohio, obviously. Carroll, qualified immunity, 1951 is going to be Tenney versus Brandoff. We're going to lose our rights. We're going to lose the right to hold government accountable right there. I mean, you got some really horrific cases that I could go into, you know, that just have decimated our country and decimated freedom. Yeah, the Marijuana Tax Act, but that's going to be 1937. But that, I mean, the entire division of rich versus poor is going to happen in 1930 with the startup of the Federal Narcotics Agency, which is going to blueprint the Prohibition Act, the Volstead Act of 1919. And they're going to just reinvent the Volstead Act essentially for drugs in 1930 with Harry Anslinger, the head of the Federal Narcotics Agency. And then, I mean, I think probably the combination of the creation of the Federal Narcotics Agency, additionally with J. Edgar Hoover, who's going to head up the FBI right around that same time, because he's going to be in 50 years. He's not going to be out till 19. So around 1924, I think, J. Edgar Hoover takes over the FBI. So now you have J. Edgar Hoover taking over the FBI, and you got Harry Anslinger, the head of this new agency called the Federal Narcotics Agency, which is going to turn into the DEA. And how does that go exactly for America? It goes terrible, because you have two people, and they're both not working even for the agency of which they're are stated. The, you know, Harry Anslinger, who is doing everything he can to protect his pharmaceutical and plastic industry from hemp, as well as William Randolph Hearst, who's doing everything he can to protect his newspaper industry from, again, hemp. So, you know, the entire creation of the Federal Narcotics Agency is a farce. It was created specifically to stop the adaptation of hemp, and then a big major prong of the Federal Narcotics Agency was to make sure that hemp couldn't become a viable energy source in America, because, you got the breakup of Standard Oil in 1914. No, 1911, because then you have the 1914 Harrison Act, and those two things are one thing, but the Federal Narcotics Agency is specifically created to stop the development of hemp. I mean, you can say whatever you'd like, and you can go with all those kind of propaganda movies. Reefer Madness, I think, is going to come out in 1934, 1930. I can't remember the specific year of that film, but there was a bunch of films just like Reefer Madness. But what you're talking about, though, is you take one person who has and we've given these people called peace officers, that are supposed to be peace officers, we've given them such an, unbalanced amount of power that there are tyrant cops all over America that are constantly being protected by the system. And then, we had two of them at the worst time in the history of our country, which is going to be the development of the technologies of communications through the phone companies through the 20s and the 30s. And when that's going on, you're going to have Harry Anslinger and J. Edgar Hoover, who are going to just absolutely decimate our Fourth Amendment right to be secure in our person, houses, papers, and effects, which would be your phone. And these two guys together are down in hell, burning in the eternal pit of fire forever and ever, and their bones are turning to dust before Satan. That's how I feel. But I mean, it's just but people don't really understand. They don't really understand the damage that was done in 100 years ago that is still plaguing us today. We have the automobile exclusionary rule and the exigent circumstances clause from 1925. Like, how long are we going to hold on to things when we have cameras everywhere today? You no longer have to seize people's car, or you shouldn't have the right to seize someone's car because of a prohibition law created in 1925. The prohibition is over. There's now a liquor store everywhere, but the prohibition laws that we were subjected to still exist on the books today through the automobile exclusionary rule. And that's another way to say the automobile exclusionary rule, a way to go around your rights. And that's what we're living under. That's what we're living under. So it's a real nightmare. It's a real nightmare. What's going on? What's going on, everybody? How is everybody doing? Good to see everybody. Nice to see everybody. How's everybody doing today? Nice to see everybody. Good to see you guys. Thanks so much for coming by. I do appreciate you being here. God bless you guys. God bless the United States of America. It's Sunday, and it's supposed to be a fun day, but I've got to get a few things done because I've got something going on. I will let you guys know what I'm doing in the next couple days. I got a surprise coming. Well, Lawz. So Dr. Hamzi, he said that laws were created for peasants. Dr. Hamzi and I go way back. So let me try to explain something. When you talk about law here in the United States of America, what that's supposed to kick back to is the Constitution. And the Constitution is supposed to be the rule of law. That these are the laws that, many, millions of men and women have died for us to be able to have this specific document that states that this is the rule of law. And so when you're talking about that, then this is my biggest problem with our country. Like, I don't think that laws were just created for peasants. I think rule of law is essential, and this goes back to Thomas Hobbes' philosophy of, if we don't have a rule of law, you're going to have a war of all men against all men. Bellium omnium contra omnes is what he said. And if you can say that 3 times fast, then you win a prize. But the real point is that if we don't have some kind of rule of law, that we would certainly kill each other. I know for a fact that if there was not the rule of law, I probably would have done things. Yeah, I'll just leave it like that. I definitely would have done a couple things to some people, to some folks. I would have done some bad things. And because there's a rule of law, though, And then there's always that fear in your conscience that you've been wrong and you've done something wrong, and also that you're going to get in trouble for what you did. So, but anyway, I want to talk about that, what Hamzi said. He said, the rule of law is for peasants. And I don't know if I totally agree with that, because I think that if we don't have some law, that good men will kill each other to try to get justice. Because if we don't have the rule of law, then how do we get justice for when someone has done you wrong? You see, and I think that we're seeing that now, Dr. Hamzi. Right now, I'm experiencing going through what the rule of law says. There are rules and there are laws, and then if you violate the rules or the laws, that you could be sued. So what's going on, KNRW, Storm Chaser Radio? What's going on? What is going on? Happy Sunday to everybody. I'm having a great Sunday. Got my fade today. Got my faded haircut today. Got my fade, feeling good. Got a fade. And I met a really nice barber, a nice guy. Philly's in the hizzy. So anyway, I think that when you talk about the rule of law, what you're saying is that we all agree to live with these particular laws so that we don't kill each other. And so then what we tried to do, the idea encompassing the rule of law, is that the founding fathers wrote this document that said that this is the skeleton for laws and for the structure and for the foundation of our country, and it's based on these philosophies. And so one of those philosophies is Jean-Jacques Rousseau's social contract, which is the rule of law. But you also have the natural right to life, liberty, and property. And so they're essentially in conflict with one another. If there is no rule of law, then life, liberty, and property can mean I can take as many lives as I want as long as I can take that property. And so the rule of law is gonna cool the savage beast, because remember, most of the world, every country in the United States, every country in the world, and every single state in the United States was created on imperialism. You know this. And what I mean by that is that every single state that we have here in America was conquered. We did. James Polk bought a lot of the Southwest and of the Northwest, but everything else, and then of course Thomas Jefferson with the Louisiana Purchase, in 1803, and I think that James Polk's going to be 1856. He's going to pull off that. So anyway, the point is though, 1840, 1846, 1847 is James. I'm going off on the tangent here. So anyway, what I'm trying to say though is, if we just had natural law, life, liberty, and property, then without the rule of law, then I can take as much property as I'd like. And without the rule of law, then, if your life is as important as my life, well then I fear just your life being here is an existential threat to my life. And so for that reason, I might just go ahead and off you because, I'm afraid of you, just because I'm afraid of you. And so then the rule of law says, well, if you have fear, then you can get help from those who are supposed to protect and serve the rule of law, which is upholding your civil liberties. And that's what I'm talking about right now. So when you talk about the rule of law, you have to go back to the basic concept that the only reason we actually have a rule of law is to protect your civil liberties. That's the only reason a rule of law exists. So we write down the Constitution and it's ratified, and we're 1790, 1791, we get the Bill of Rights in there, and now we have all of these things in these documents. And so we say, these are the rules, and these are always the rules. And then Marbury versus Madison, 1803, is going to bring us back to that foundation, that these are the rules, and these are the only rules. And in the 20th century, we have completely and utterly decimated the foundation of what the rule of law even means. Because the rule of law means now, however many legislators you can get put into office based on a duopoly that's controlled, so that a third party can't even get a space on a debate stage. And so that duopoly then creates this fascist government that makes it so that they create a rule of law that exempts themselves. And I said it earlier, the 1951 Tenney versus Brandoff, which is going to start the qualified immunity for legislators and judges. And so, what are we looking at today when you say the rule of law? There is none here in this country. We are not living by a rule of law. We're living under a tyrannical system that is everything that the Republic was supposed to prevent from happening was tyrannical legislation. But the duopoly system created by the Republicans and the Democrats is what has sucked the lifeblood, sucked the oxygen out of what could be and should be the greatest country in the world. That's what I was thinking anyway. So it's true though. It's true. I mean, I'm really not just sitting here saying things just to say them. I'm really dumping out. So the next time you hear about a local election or an election in your town, and then, by the way, when I do run for governor, I'll be running on a third-party ticket that I'll present in the next year or so. And so the reason why I want to snuff out and destroy that duopoly of Republicans and Democrats and people who identify as Republicans and Democrats is because it fundamentally destroys the rule of law. Because all you need is enough legislators on the left or the right, or those who would collude with one another, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Anthony Scalia in the 2005 case of Gonzalez versus Reich, which made marijuana illegal, and since then, 15 million people have been to jail. Just take a trip to the jail, because Scalia, who is supposed to be this conservative, and then Ginsburg, who's supposed to be a liberal, and just consider a Republican Democrat as far as the Supreme Court is concerned, they colluded together to make sure marijuana would stay illegal. But I don't want to lose track of what I was saying. Until we get a third party to break the duopoly, we will not experience the gasp, the intake of freedom of air in our country. We won't experience it, because as long as we have this ridiculously preposterous war on drugs perpetuated upon people, and to this day, every single cop shop in America is still bonused for drug arrests. They're still bonused for arresting you for drugs. And it's so fundamentally wrong. It's so wrong. We are now the leadership. We are Gen X, and we are some of the boomers and some of the older millennials. We are now the leadership. And until we end the bullshit war on drugs, nothing is going to get better. It's just going to get worse. And if Joe Biden really wants to do something, do me a favor, Joe. Don't just pardon people federally charged with marijuana. Do me a favor, Joe. Get rid of your 1994 crime bill. That's what's strangling our country to this day. That's what creates a police state, prison state to this day, is Joe's 1994 crime bill. And I've gone through it. I've gone through it in extraordinary detail. I've read the bill. You know what? I'll do it again, because people don't understand. Joe Biden is the man who said he wrote the bill, and now he's in power now, or woohoo. I mean, yeet, 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 yeet. Is he even there? But it's not the point. He wrote the 94 crime bill, and we need to get rid of the 94 crime bill. That's the thing that's strangling us today. There's so many problems, and people are like, why did you choose to focus on Terry versus Ohio? Because that's the tip of the spear. Like I call myself, I am the tip of the spear. I go into government, I go at police, I go at the courts, and I am the tip of the spear for change, to fight for our rights, to demand that we have our rights. And I can't stand and demand your rights. I just think it's stupid, because what has to happen is we have to become the power. We have to become the power. Because we are the power, we are the sovereign, we are the people. The rule of law in America states that the people are the power, based on Jean-Jacques Rousseau's social contract. So we come full circle here, and we come back to the rule of law again, which is the social contract. But we have to take our power back, and that comes through educating our people and letting them know that how do you lose your rights? Terry versus Ohio, the 1925 case of Carroll versus United States, Kerr versus California, Brinegar versus the United States, and Graham versus Connor. Those 5 cases have got to go. We've got to get rid of them. And then we got to get the Supreme Court elected. There's so many God blessed things. That's why I can't stand this path of the distractors. And that's all I'm going to say. I don't give a damn about the people who are Republicans and Democrats. I don't care. I don't care. Listen, let me just tell you guys something. It's not going to be Republicans and Democrats that help us. Within the next 20 years, there will be a third party and we will take the power back. We will take the power back. Dr. Hamzi once again is spot on. It's the dark money. That's created from the 2010 case of the Federal Election Commission versus Citizens United, where a bunch of elite rich people got together. They don't see Republican and Democrat. Republican and Democrat are the same. They are two wings of the same bird. There's nothing different about them other than which causes they choose to throw their stake down. But at the end of the day, when they get behind closed doors, they have a great big barbecue and you're not invited. And that's Republican and Democrat in our country today. That's what we're living through today. The people in power, once they get in, as long as they don't see, and this is the reason why I don't want to go on a politics talk here, but this is the reason why both Trump is terrifying and why they're afraid of Trump, because he couldn't be controlled. And at the same time, I wouldn't vote for Trump. I'm sorry. I like the man. I like some of his ideas. I like it. I like bravado. I don't like to pretend like some men are not overtly masculine. I happen to be one of them. And so I don't dislike Trump. I dislike the leadership he exhibited in a time of emergency. And to me, that's the reason I wouldn't vote for him again. But I mean, you can just clearly see the reason why, and look what happened to the government when you get someone in there who just says, I won't do anything you say. That impeachment wasted an entire year where nothing got done for the people, and we just wasted time and money, and nothing got done for services. We didn't get anything accomplished. So, look, I know some of you guys are Trumpers and some of you guys are not Trumpers, and I don't care, man. I'm not an anti-Trumper. I'm not a pro-Trumper. I just want true freedom, true liberty. And I don't think that the incarceration nation, Jeff Lloyd called me the other day. He said, end the incarceration nation. I said, Jeff, I think we already have end torture cuffs. And he put end the incarceration nation. End the incarceration nation. And that's my real goal here. Listen to me, our country is not better. We've mass incarcerated people now for 60 years. It is not better, it is worse. Since the 1960s, we've been mass incarceration, and it's making our country worse. The people are worse, education is worse, domestic violence is worse, DUIs are worse, drug use is worse. This prohibition and criminalizing everything has not worked. And I know that in Portland, they made some things where they're made all the drugs illegal, and in Portland got filled up with a bunch of druggies. I get it. We have to be more specifically pinpointed about where the druggies can go. And you think I'm kidding? I'm not. Do the research. You will find that there's going to be 10% of people who are going to be addicted to drugs. 10% of people who are going to be straight up hooked on that ish. No matter what you and I say, no matter what you and I think, 10% of people are going to be hooked. And you can't stop it. And I can't stop it. And we wish we could, but we can't. And 10% of people, I believe, would migrate to drug-free cities, to where. But you know what? The criminalization of drugs hasn't done anything good. It's only created incentivization programs for people who put on a badge and claim to be peace officers, then call themselves law enforcement, and then they arrest people and hurt people and torture people. And that's what has to end. And that's what I'm going to end. I swear to God, I swear on everything that I am. I swear on Jesus, Mohammed, Buddha, all of them combined, Krishna, go in a circle, Yahweh, keep on going, monkey, Set, Horus, keep on going down the Norse gods, the Celtic gods. We can just keep on going. I swear to God, I'm going to change this system. I swear to God, whatever the final, biggest, strongest, baddest, truest, lovingest, purest God is the God that I swear to now. I'm going to change this bullshit system. And that's what I'm going to do. I mean, sorry, Leo. Soy Leo, how you doing, bud? Soy Leo. This torture cuff system's got to go. We got to get rid of torture cuffs. That's the lowest hanging fruit. That's who you need to be. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. 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 Sorry. Oh man, I'm as fat as I want to be. I'll tell you, because I'm going to do this intermittent fasting thing where I teach you guys how to lose weight in 2023. I'm going to do a whole web series. I got my buddy set up this whole website for me. All I got to do is give him the videos. He plugs them in, and you guys get to follow me on an intermittent fasting journey. I'll gift all my memberships to a bunch of you guys here, so you guys can watch how it is. But I got legitimately, I'm on like 220 pounds. I'm so fat. For me, it's incredible. So it's, you know, and I got to get the health, and then I can't wait to start it, you know, but I'm not going to start anything till about November 20th. I got an announcement coming up for this November 3rd. November 3rd is a big day. I mean, you guys can come with me. Let's take a walk. Let's take a walk. Let's take a talk. Let's walk down the street. Real quick. I'm just going to go for a second. We'll just go for a minute, all right? We will go for 1 minute. 1 second. No. 1 second. Gotta go like this. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay. Okay. Okay, we should be good. So, oh. One second. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. We don't stop. Yeah, listen. So, you know, I rattled these things off, but you guys got to really try to hear what I'm saying to you about these things. It's the reason why we're all here. It's the reason why I'm here, you know. Or I could do a fitness channel. I could do a travel channel. I could do a Hollywood channel. I could do all kinds of channels. But the most important channel is the channel of change. That's the most important channel. There's nothing more important. Yeah, I agree with you there. And you know what you just said, people. So, you know. Oh man. I'll be up at the top of this in a second. I'll show you guys where I'm at. Ooh. Yeah, I like to think the knee is good, man, but it's not. It sucks. So anyway, change or bust, right? I was talking to my buddy the other day and we said, you know, if you want to live in the matrix, right, and you don't want anything to change and you're okay with just the way things are right now and you could just get by and you could just do your job and you don't have to really pay attention, put your blinders on to what you're seeing happen in the streets of our country that's banned on YouTube. You can't show what the cops do to us here. You're not allowed to show that, or your channel gets a community strike. They just warned me. If I show any more violence, the next one's going to be a community strike, which means that they want to shut down me being able to show you guys what the cops are doing. So if you just want to live in the Matrix, though, and you just want to make as much money as you can, and you just want to make as much money as you can do that. You can do that. You could just, if you just want to make music, just make music, as Les Paul just said there. You can just make music. And if you don't want to pay attention to what's going on around you, man, it's a beautiful world, it's a beautiful life. But if you actually open your eyes and you take a look around, you see how humans are being treated in our country, how the human race is being degraded, cheapened, marked down, discounted, then I can't accept it. Our friend, you have rights, cops have duties. Our friend was drug away to a dungeon and injured. For what? All right. I got to walk through Tarjay right now. I actually got to get another razor. Philly, good to see you. Good to see you. I mean, if we just embrace technology, we're going to be able to get it. Good to see you, People News Now. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody for coming in. Thanks for coming and joining me twice today. If you guys get a chance to watch that interview with Sam earlier, man, it was really good. He really told some stories. He told us a story. It was crazy. I got to go. Love you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.